and welcome to the Stateside Soccer Show, episode 299. At this rate, we'll hit 300 by MLS Cup. My name is Jordan, and with me, as always, is Logan. How are you doing, Logan?
That was a good one. I really enjoyed that. Oh man, it's been a couple of weeks, and I know it's gotten tougher. Like we said at the beginning of the season, these become harder and harder mid-week, which is why we're recording this on a Sunday. Jordan, we got a Sunday where we don't have MLS soccer stuff going on, so it's been a nice break. We did unfortunately have a U.S. men's national team game that I'm sure we'll get into a little bit.
It was very unfortunate, yeah.
So got a lot to discuss, but it's always good to be back. So how you doing?
I'm doing good. I would say, it's been one of those weeks as they are, right? Like we were supposed to record Tuesday. Then I texted you. I said, I think the podcast is cursed because I developed a bad migraine and had nausea. The next day, my son was throwing up. So maybe the nausea was part of like a stomach bug or something. I don't know, but it's been like that the whole week. Something going wrong at every avenue. So thankfully Sundays we can record this. It's an international break, so we're not actually missing any games when we talk about it. And we're still working all that stuff out. I think it'll get easier when my wife is able to, she's recovering still from her surgery. So I feel like maybe then it's like I can't just leave her with the kid a lot of the time. So we'll see. We'll see how it goes going forward. Like I said, episode 300 might be MLS Cup. We'll see how it goes.
It'll be exciting to catch up with everybody then.
Yeah.
Merry Christmas, by the way.
Yeah. How was that World Cup?
Yeah, it was great. Yeah, a lot of fun. Not great. No, it was bad. It was not the way that we wanted it to go. Sorry, that was the wrong thing to say.
Hopefully. Hopefully that's not what it is. Yeah. Yeah, but we're here. Let's catch up on some of the news, okay? Mm-hmm. We had not long after we recorded our last episode, I think like a day, maybe two, Oscar Pereira was fired after game 3. Oh, so it was the next week, right? Because we did, I think, a Thursday recording where we caught up on weeks 1 and 2, and then the weekend happened and he was fired like Monday or Tuesday. The day we would have recorded if everything had worked out. So he gets fired after game 3, and I asked this question, and I saw other accounts ask this question, and I even directed it towards Weeby because I was like, maybe he'll know, because he was commenting on Pereira's firing. Is this the earliest firing by an MLS team in a season? So what I mean by that is in the season. Pereira was obviously there for 6 seasons. I'm not asking, is this the earliest somebody's been fired from their job? I'm asking in the season. So this was 3 games. 3 games. So I decided when we were recording today that it might be good for me to research this. And I kind of spent like the last however long on my phone going through. This is what I had to do. Because I don't know an easier way to do it. Because I have Googled it. And Google AI, I told you this when I was asking you, said that there was somebody else fired this early. It said 3 games. And I looked it up and he was fired 7 games into the season. So what the fuck, Google? And then we have, so I was like, I can't trust that. I went to Wikipedia, which we all can trust. People edit that. They fix it. And I went to each season, starting at 1996, Logan. Went to the overview, scrolled down to where it shows every manager firing. And would be like, okay, first one was fired in June. That's not going to be early enough. Next page. I did that all the way up to 2025. Okay. And what I would also have to do is once I got a name that was, because MLS has changed their starting time multiple times. Some seasons start in April, some seasons start in February, some seasons start in March. I would then have to go to FB Ref on another tab.
Yeah.
And I would go to that team's season and look at the date and be like, how many games was it before that date? And then I took the extra step and wrote down their record when they were fired too. So What is your guess here? Is this the earliest? Has anybody else matched 3 games? Has anybody been fired sooner? Like, what would be your guess here?
I would guess there was somebody probably fired before him, just based off of the way you worded that. But that being said, like 1 or 2 games in would be like, you would have had to
Crazy,
have
wouldn't
done
it?
something crazy. Like, I feel like you would have had to have, like, had a falling out with somebody, or, like, something crazy had to have gone down, or health issues. Like, I could see that too, where it not really a firing, though. I guess you would not call that a firing. They kind of messed up, but
Yeah, well, here's the thing. Wikipedia and the team phrase this as a mutual consent.
okay.
For Perea, right?
Yeah, yeah.
But he was fired. Like, do you come back and start 3 games and be like, you
No.
know what? Actually, I'm just not feeling it. Like, I feel like it's the safe face, right?
Yeah.
I mean, he could also agree that it's not working out and be like, yeah, fire me. That's cool.
Right.
But he started the season. He was looking to have this job. So I do count that as a firing. Okay. So the first thing I see, 1996, May 24th, Eddie Fermani from the New York, New Jersey Metro Stars.
Mm.
The season in 96 started in mid-April, so I'm like, oh, crap, this has a chance then, right? But it actually took 8 games into the season.
Okay.
Okay, so he was fired 8 games in the season. Not really that close. 99, we get to Ron Newman of the KC Wiz. Okay, he's fired April 14th. And I'm like, oh, that's early. Let me see how many games that is. 4 games.
Oh.
4 games in the season. 0 wins, 1 draw, 3 losses. Okay. We get to 99 as well. April 22nd, Octavio Zambrano from the Galaxy was fired after 5 games. They went 0, 4 draws, 1 loss. So at this point, I'm like, all right, I do have to go through every single page, because I was thinking maybe like the earlier seasons would be a little bit more lenient.
Yeah.
That wasn't the case. We get to 2000. Ivo Wortman of the Miami Fusion fired May 8th. And I'm like, okay, how early is that? That's 8 games in the season. So not that early. Tom Fitzgerald of the Columbus Crew in 2001 was fired mid-May after 6 games. He had 1 win, 2 draws, 3 losses. Now, the name that Google gave me was Fernando Clavillo, fired May 23rd, 2002, after 7 games. I'm not sure where they were getting 3 on the Google thing.
Nice job, Google.
All right, so we get to 2007. May 3rd, John Ellinger. And I'm like, May 3rd's pretty early in the season. 4 games in the season. 0 wins, 2 draws, 2 losses.
This isn't looking good.
Then we go through a stretch of 10 years, Logan, where nobody was fired super early. And some seasons, nobody was fired. Okay? And we get to Jeff Cassar 3 years before this podcast starts. 2017, March 20th. March 20th, I was like,
Jeff.
That's very early. 3 games during the season.
Jeff.
0 wins, 1 draw, 2 losses. So he actually still had a better record than Oscar did.
Yeah, I was gonna say, yeah, that's.
So then I keep going, and I forgot this, but last season, March 24th, 2025, Laurent Courtois from Montreal was fired after 5 games. So he just missed it. 0 wins, 1 draw, 4 losses. So far, from what I was just reading there, right? Like the earliest, I mean, like this is tied for earliest, March 11th, 3 games. But it's the worst record of any of the managers. So
Oscar wins.
Yeah. Well, yeah. If there's like a wooden spoon, for
right? Yeah.
He wins that. What would that be?
That's like good for him.
A boot.
Yeah.
A wooden boot. That's like the earliest you've been given the boot.
That's a good one. Or like a trash can on fire.
Boot. Yeah.
Yeah, the wooden boot. I like that. I think that should be our new.
Because it's a nice contrast to the golden boot too.
Yes,
which,
it is.
So it's a little different. This would be like the worst goal scorer if you had the wooden boot, I guess. But you got the boot in this case. So yeah, we give the wooden boot to Oscar Perea. 0 wins, 0 draws, 3 losses. A lot of people were kind of like, really? With this squad, they fired him? But let's not forget, as much as it seems like he is new to this team, because I just remember times from before Oscar Pereira. It's like the way that time has continued to. He's been hired there since 2019, which was shocking to me, honestly, seeing that, because it feels a lot shorter. But he's like their third manager, right? We had Heath, and then they did an interim, and then they did Jason Kreis, and then they went to Pereira, and he is fired. Logan, as an Orlando fan, was it time?
Yeah, I think the unfortunate part of it in reality is the fact that they even just decided to let Oscar start the season. I know that they were kind of probably waiting around for something like this to happen so they could justify it, because he has taken them to 6 consecutive playoff appearances. They lifted their first cup in league and team history, or not league, in team history, with the MLS Open Cup, and
in their
existence as an MLS club.
in a US Open Cup. But as an MLS club, it's their first one, because they did win. They had a winning team back in the USL days.
Yes. I think this is, we're still really early in Orlando history, and we've really not had much. Heath, you could argue, which is really funny. I saw a bunch of people wanting Adrian Heath to step in for this season. It's like, are you joking? But I think if you're looking at Oscar's time here, I think that there was a steady progression in the sense of every year it did seem like their odds to win an MLS Cup probably got better and better. But Jordan, I would say over the last year and a half combined, I think that you started to see some of the talent dwindle. Last year, they dealt with a crap ton of injuries. I think the injuries have really started to plague this Orlando City team. And then you saw a changing of the guards when you get rid of Pedro Gallese, when Facundo Torres left. You see guys that have been here forever, Pereira. When you start to see some of those staples that have been here for so long, when the Muriel thing didn't work out, I think you started to see some holes being poked in this. And I wouldn't put this solely, I never do. I never solely put this on a manager, because it's usually personnel, but you can't fire your players. So you can bench them, but you can't really fire them.
Yeah.
So you're kind of
one
handcuffed.
option. Yeah.
Yes. And that is usually the scapegoat. Like, the owners aren't going to fire, themselves. So they're not going to sell the club. And you have these decisions to make, whether that be the director of football operations, which at this point in MLS, a lot of some of the better coaches are part of that decision-making process. I would say MLS more so than probably any other sport. Do you have more director of football / GM / coaches in this league than you do in others? And it was time in the sense that, Jordan, they really were just turning over a new leaf. You're playing 18, 19, and 20-year-olds in the back line, in the midfield, on some of the wings at times, because there's not enough healthy players. And if there are healthy players, you went out and got this random assortment of MLS veterans that have never been great, just above average maybe. And that's just not a knock on them. It's just the truth that this Orlando City team, Jordan, when I look at this roster, you remove Griezmann, this is probably the worst they've ever looked on paper since covering this podcast, at least, or since we've covered the league on this podcast, is that this is by far the least talented. And I think it's a very young team that they can get better. But I still think, Jordan, that this, I'm going to say it, and this is probably not such a stretch, but I don't think this team makes the playoffs this season.
Yeah, so if we go back, he was hired at the end of 2019, so he took over at the beginning of 2020 with COVID. They had a good run in MLS's back tournament.
Made the final, yeah.
Yeah, they end up 4th in the East back in 2020. If we then go to 2021, they went to, let's see, they finished 6th. Okay, get in the playoffs. That's all you can ask for sometimes. 2022, which would have been like our second season covering the team, the league, right? Full season. They ended up going 7th in the East. Okay, so they're starting to drop. 4th, 6th, 7th. 2023, they get to the second place in the East. And you're like, okay, maybe that was just a little blip, right? Going down, and everything's looking up in 2023. And then 2024, which would have been 2 years ago now, they get to the fourth place in the East. Still decent, right? But it's like 10 points less than what they had the year before. They finished with 52. And then last year, they end up going and falling to 9th in the East. Technically, I guess, in the playoffs. This is still 1 point better than what they finished 6th in the year before or whatever. They had 53 points, but they were tied with Chicago. They go into their one playoff, right? They're a wild card team. So Fire beat them. So I guess it all depends on what you do. You count the wild card as playoff? Because I've seen some Orlando fans. I think Tom Bogert was like, "Hey, they made the playoffs like 6 straight years already."
Yeah,
awesome. Some fan for Orlando is like, "We missed it last year because you do a play-in and then you lost the play-in." I mean, you're playing postseason, right? Is what it is. You're playing a game postseason. So for me, it probably counts as a playoff. But it was kind of starting to get to diminishing returns for Orlando. And, it seems like maybe the message was stale. There's also player turnover. There's ownership changes during this time. When he had his first team, like Nani was here.
Yeah.
And now we're looking at a squad full of youngins and, it is a bizarre choice that maybe they should have just fired him or parted ways in the off season. It probably would have been good for him too, because if he knew his squad was getting gutted, that might save him some face. But I don't know. I don't know where he goes next, what he does next. I'm assuming sometime once somebody's fired again, like he becomes a name of conversation around to be hired, but I'm not really sure. But it's been a bit. And then we had the other news that you were talking about with the squad. Antoine Griezmann was officially announced as coming to Orlando City in the summer. He's my age, I believe, 35, 34, somewhere around there. He's getting old. I'm getting old. So he's a young guy. He's still a young guy.
Yeah. In his prime, some would say.
But, he's been somebody that's been flirting with MLS for the last, 5 years. He's finally coming over. I think he likes going to Disney World. I think he's been there, seen there before. So maybe Orlando makes sense in that regard. But I kind of wonder now, you lost your manager. This was probably in the works before that, right? But you lose the manager. Your squad is getting huge turnover. This doesn't feel like a Messi to Miami move in the sense of, I don't think this team's going to be ready to give Griezmann a cup before he retires.
Yeah, this comes in a really.
I like
weird
him coming
time.
here, by the way.
Yeah, I do too.
I just want to say that it doesn't, the team around him doesn't seem like it's going to do what we want.
Defensively, they're going to be a disaster, and we've seen what happens when teams are disasters defensively, which I thought could get better with Maxime Crepeau. Seems like it's not gotten better, and then you've got the pieces in around him that are just young and they don't understand how to defend in this league. But I think the biggest thing is that, while Orlando City will be able to score goals, they do have good attacking players. I mean, when you've got Martino Hayda, when you've got Pasalic, and you've got Griezmann playing together, that's going to be scary for anybody. That's a scary front, attacking force. But it's such a weird time, like you said, Jordan, because I feel like they can score as many goals as they want. They can't defend anybody. So it's it's going to be, and this is always a question for me when these players come over, and people will be like, well, it's Antoine Griezmann. He's won a World Cup. He's been one of the better attacking players in multiple leagues and in Europe, and he's done it at the highest level. But Jordan, you got to be really careful, because I think people that are maybe more casual MLS fans would go, man, Orlando all of a sudden's fixed their team. And I would say that's far from the truth because you just don't know how this is going to go. I mean, we've had really good players, Gareth Bale, Insigne, come over, and it has not panned out. Higuain took forever for him to figure it out. So again, I always caution. I mean, yes, this is a massive name, but this was a massive name, 2 or 3 years ago, and that was the end. So I don't know. Like it's a weird. The team's in a weird spot. The ownership's in a weird spot. Like I just feel like you better hope he's around for 2 or 3 more years because that's what you'd be building for, not necessarily this year. Because I think this year it's gonna be tough. It's gonna be real tough to try to get that team to be competitive. And he comes over in the summer, so it's not like Orlando City, Jordan could be all the way down in the well by the time he gets, which they're pretty much in the well at this point, but like even further. So I don't know. I agree with you. I am much more of like meh, like this is cool, but like it's not going to be cool for a little bit.
I mean, the last time he's had double digits goals were 2023, 2024.
Yeah.
He had 8 goals last year in 2,400 some minutes. This year he's only had 982 minutes and he's gotten 6 goals.
Yeah.
So that's, I guess, worrying, but he's going to be coming to, I guess he was still playing at the highest level of Atletico Madrid.
Yeah.
But
he's getting cup games too. Like he's got 13 total from 6 and then 7 in Cope. But like the if you're playing cup games, Jordan, like Copa del Rey and like those kind of things, like you're not maybe necessarily like top of mind. Like if you're getting random spot starts, that's never great.
Did I black out when he went to Barcelona?
He went
for 3 years, and then he's back to Atletico. I totally forgot he ever went to Barcelona.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I mean, it's been. We'll see how he does. But you were talking about, this obviously doesn't fix the team, right? This is actually they have a negative 12 goal differential, which is the worst in the league. They've given up 17 goals, which is the worst in the league. They've only scored 5.
They've had 2 5-0 losses.
So yeah, here's the thing, right?
It's been brutal.
Let's talk about this real quick in the sense of Union, my team, bottom of every conference that they're in. They probably would even be bottom of USL right now.
Yeah, they're bottom of everything. They're the worst team in the world.
0 points, but they've only given up 9 goals, right? And they've scored
silver lining.
3. So there is, but like you have teams like Montreal, which was my pick for Wooden Spoon, and your team, Orlando, with 17 goals given up. That's a lot. That is a lot of goals that you're shipping. And you're right. You had the couple games there against what? NYCFC,
Nashville.
Nashville.
Yeah, our last
where you're
game
giving
was
up
not great.
5 goals in a game. I just don't know.
I mean, Jordan, think about it. We've talked about fucking San Jose has had seasons where they've given up 70 goals, and that's always been they've been at the bottom of the league. So, I mean, we're almost there. To 70 goals.
Look, the defense has never been good in MLS, right? But look at the last winners. I'm going to read you some score lines here. What is going on here? NYCFC Orlando 5-0. Okay, we have 6-1 New England over Cincinnati, 6-0 Vancouver over Minnesota, 5-0 Nashville over Orlando. That's a lot of high score. 6-1 Charlotte over Red Bull. Like there's been a lot of high scoring games this year so far. That's mind blowing. Then you get a game like Minnesota Seattle last week, 0-0.
Yeah. But then you have like teams like LAFC that haven't even let up a goal this year. San Jose, 1 goal. San Jose's back, Jordan.
They are. And I was worried about them facing the Union, and I was right. They beat us 1-0. I mean, it was just. I think LAFC now has the record for most games gone without giving up a goal because it was 4.
I was going to say,
win a 5th
MLS.
Game. They've scored 8. They've given up 0. Vancouver has scored 14, given up 2. San Jose scored 7, given up 1. That's absolutely crazy. These are some crazy scores here.
The Vancouver goal differential is so drastic. 14 goals scored
to 2
against. That's nuts.
It gives them a plus 12, which is
That's
the
gonna be hard to
best.
catch.
Yeah, it's the best so far. Yeah, so there you go. We have a couple teams, 3 teams that remain undefeated in Major League Soccer. Nashville is one of those, LAFC is one of those, and San Diego, but they have 2 draws instead of 1. So they are actually still a little further down the table, but 3 teams in MLS remain undefeated in this week of the season. So we have a little segment I like to call Points Watch. Do the Union have points? The answer, no. They're still at 0.
I was like, Jordan's introducing all these. I didn't realize it was going to be a slight to your club. That was pretty good. Jordan, when do you think they get off the snide? Is there a particular week? Are you looking forward to?
Hold on, I have to look at the schedule.
Oh man, Jordan, I was looking at.
When do we face Montreal?
Oh yeah, that's got to be soon.
Orlando. When do we face? Hold on. All right, we face Charlotte next, so that's not
probably lose that game.
Yeah. We might give up 6 against them the way that they were playing.
Yeah.
Let's see. We have Montreal April 11th. There's a chance.
All right, so it's coming up. You got it. It's coming up. Oh,
if not, I mean, it might be May 13th when we face Orlando.
Yeah.
Orlando's at home too, so there's always that thing going against you as well.
Yeah. It's funny, Jordan, because every time I like our other, like my group chat with Matt and them, like they'll continue to talk about how bad Orlando is, and I'm like, yeah, but I always make the joke of like, but Montreal's worse, but in the standings they're not. But I think everybody probably agrees that, like, I mean, at this point, maybe the Union are this bad, but like, I don't know. I just still feel pretty confident in my wooden spoon prediction of Montreal. I still feel like the other ones will at least get up off the mat.
I mean, the Union, though, I will say that they're favorites for wooden spoon at this point. 0.
Oh yeah,
what they have going for them is that they haven't been giving up as much goals, right? So if they fix the scoring, which has been their main issue, they went a few games without scoring in open play, then they'll be fine. But the issue that we're having right now is you have players like Damiani, right, who comes in, and we've shipped out players like Damiani hasn't done much the last 2 seasons, but you ship out. They're so focused on selling high that they're getting rid of players like Ty Baribo, who was scoring a boatload of goals, right? Michael Ura that they gave up, after he started scoring goals. It's like once these players figure it out, they're like so focused on selling high.
Yeah, they're flippers.
That they just get the sale, but they bring in the next young guy or the next guy that needs to adjust to the league, and it takes them a while, and then we're in the hole. What you should be doing is when you finish the season with a supporter shield, yes, you're going to have some players leave. You can sell high on some players, but you have to bring in more quality players than just risks. And what they're doing is bringing in risks instead, and it's causing them to now be falling behind to the point where they're going from, first to worst here at this point, which is embarrassing. We've done it every step of the way. Every single season we've had a good year. There's been something that has thrown us off the following year, and it's either getting rid of players or, usually it's selling high on players and losing the core of the team. So I don't know. I'm kind of thinking that, like, just and the worst thing about this is not even like a sport you can tank in. It's not like I can be like, oh, we're getting first pick of the draft, baby, because you don't get as much quality through this draft as like the other drafts. Right. So you're just kind of like, well, we need our owner to invest. That's not happening. So there it is. That's what we're stuck with. Anything about the league that you wanted to talk about before we maybe look at the U.S. men's national team and another dumpster fire that we got?
I know it's tough because like we've missed a couple weeks here, and we're trying to, a lot of talk is now shifted to U.S. men's national team. So I do feel like we're kind of leaving MLS out in the cold. But again, we're really early in the season. Like this is that part of the season. I mean,
Exactly.
the Union have been awful, but they're 6 points out of a playoff spot. So it's
right.
It's MLS, thank you, kind of thing. But it's also like we're just too early in the season to make any type of general assumptions about the league. I will say the Eastern Conference looks to be doing Eastern Conference things once again, and the Western Conference has taken over as a stronghold. I mean, you've got really good teams.
Feels like it changes every year.
Yeah, it's really strange. Yeah, 1 through 6. Like last year, I felt like the Eastern Conference had stronger teams.
Right.
This year, I feel like top heavy Western Conference by far. With San Jose playing well, Seattle playing well, RSL's played well. Like I feel like
San Diego still playing well.
Yeah. So I just feel like, I mean, again, it is interesting to me, Jordan, that the top 3 from last year are kind of hovering towards that top 3 in the West again, with LAFC, Vancouver, and San Diego, which I think you and I projected a little bit of a fall off from San Diego, but they've kind of kept pretty steady.
I put them 6, but
yeah,
where are they at right now? Like 4th?
They're in the 4th. Yeah, they're in 4th.
Yeah.
So
yeah. And then you had them 5th as well. Yeah. Well, Minnesota, that one's not looking good right
now.
No,
that's not looking great at all. Go to the Philadelphia predictions. Where did we have them?
I did lower them.
Did you?
I mean, I had them at 5th.
Okay.
Which I was like, hey, we're going 1st to 5th because I don't believe in this team as much. And I didn't look. Nobody expected them to be bottom. Okay, I don't want to hear that.
Yeah, no.
You had them 4th.
Yeah,
but we weren't thinking they're running it back or anything.
No,
we didn't have them winning MLS Cup, so I feel pretty good about our predictions, I guess.
Yeah.
I mean, look, prove me wrong, right? Go out and make a run and win another supporter shield. Like you got to go on a huge run right now to do that, but that would be prove me wrong, Philly, please.
Yeah. Oh, I guess one other thing we could talk about, Casemiro appears to be coming to MLS.
Oh yeah,
which would be interesting. Sounds like Miami is trying to move things around so they can absorb him as well. Sounds like that he will have to be a DP, so they'll have to move off of one of theirs. But that would be, that'd be a lot of fun. That would be just wonderful because he's still pretty talented. So I'm sure that's actually a pretty good fit, I think. And if he decides to come over, I'm interested to see what Miami does to move off one of their DPs. But I think that would make them, I think they're already favorites to win it again. But this would make them pretty damn heavy. This
is something else I wanted to talk about. I totally forgot, but MLS has issued lifetime suspensions to Derek Jones and Yala Yeboah. Neither of them are currently under contract with MLS, but they have violated the MLS gambling policy. They received suspicious betting alerts through Integrity Partners. MLS retained a law firm named Patterson, Belknap, Webb, and Tyler to conduct an investigation. They were placed on administrative leave, and they concluded that they engaged in extensive gambling on soccer, including on their own teams, during the 2024 and 2025 seasons. In one instance, both players bet on the same thing, which would be that Derek Jones would draw a yellow card during October's 19th, 2024 match, and he did receive it. They also determined that they likely shared confidential information with other bettors about their intent to draw yellow cards. Apparently, none of this actually affected the end of the matches, just a yellow card. Like they weren't betting on, I guess, like they weren't throwing games, but they were.
Yeah.
This is where like prop bets get into.
Prop bets
trouble,
are right, and they've started to try to limit some of them because of this.
Yeah, because you have control. We've seen it with the MLB with the pitchers that are, they're going to throw a ball on an 0-0 count to this guy in this inning, and they do it, and it's like. What Class A when he's doing it, he like spiked the ball. It was really
he fell off the mound. Yeah, I was like, dude, oh man, like you can make those look not as obvious, but
right. But Derek Jones, former Union player, so that's what I thought of. But no, just a bummer. I mean, like, I get that obviously for younger people, gambling is a big thing now.
Yeah. Oh, huge.
When I was growing up, the only way you could place a bet was going to Vegas or Atlantic City.
Yes. You had to have a bookie too, pretty much. Like you had to have somebody that was in on the odds because you didn't know the odds. Like they weren't really presented to you unless you went somewhere.
And I actually found it really mind blowing when I went to England back in 2010.
Stadiums and shit. Yeah.
In 2010, I'm walking down the street and they have betting stores and they would have like signs outside with the odds.
Yeah.
And, you know, you're like, wow, never see that over here. And so much so I don't even know how to read odds still. Like,
yeah, some of them confuse me.
I know like negative something is.
Yeah, those are the favorites.
I don't even know.
Yeah, your favorite.
Favorites. There you go. Yeah. Plus something is better, right? So, I've placed my free bets on those apps in my legal state.
Yeah, and obviously didn't hit because you wouldn't be here.
I did not. No, I did not. I failed on almost every single one.
Yeah. You can't make money gambling unless you cheat the system.
So I get that it's free. And I understand when people also say, like, well, it's obvious that this is going to happen because they keep placing these ads in front of everybody. But I still think the players have to know better than to do stupid stuff like this. Like, I can kind of understand more of like what was it? Calvin? Did Calvin really get in trouble for this?
Yeah, I think it was Calvin.
But he was betting on like a whole other sport or like different teams. He wasn't betting on his own stuff.
Right. That I don't.
This is where you're really getting into trouble. That like you're determining. This is like the Chicago, the Black Sox scandal, right? Where they are seriously betting on themselves to do certain things, and it is enriching them. Not by much, by the way. I don't think this would be. Like Derek Jones gets lots of yellows. Like how much money is it going to be to bet on getting a yellow?
I was going to say it's not a big plus odds there. Like it's not like he's doubling his money there. So
I don't understand it, but
I mean Paul Crew in longest yard, he was shaving points. Like that's unacceptable.
The player association has to do better jobs, I think, to talking to all players of all sports of you can't do this, and I think their agents should be doing more on this. And maybe they do, but like we're starting to see it a lot on every single sport.
I do know for a fact because the Pacers are pretty good about like showing what their players go through at times. So like on one of their websites, on one of their press releases, like the rookies now, Jordan, are required or mandated to take a betting against, like betting on your sport. Like it's like a big no-no. And like they go through a whole training, and just like we do like in a normal job where, we go through our regular day-to-day training and stuff. The NBA has been much better about educating players on gambling and betting. But here's the devil advocate in me, Jordan. It's so tough to try to regulate this type of stuff when, I mean, we've got full stadiums. Jordan, the biggest sponsors of podcast, of media, of all sorts of things is BetMGM and Bet360 and Draft.
Yeah, you can't listen to a podcast that is about sports.
Right. And they can't even read them.
Without being greeted by this stuff.
Yeah. Like the player podcast, like the Kelseys. Travis can't read betting. Because he's in the sport, so it pauses and then it has their producer. I think Jason can read them now,
but they're in commercials, right? LeBron's in a commercial with Kevin Hart with DraftKings, and like, and we're not even getting on the sports betting, but now the new things like Polymarket and Kalshi, which Giannis, right?
Giannis is a minority owner in it.
Yeah, he's a minority owner.
That's wild.
Yeah. And those you can bet on literally everything.
Yeah. And every state, like there's no rally because it's technically a trade market. Yeah, it's a trade market, not a betting thing. So
we know
Jesus was always on the side of betting on those markets. He downloaded Khaleesi because isn't there Khaleesi or whatever it's called? Khaleesi's that's Daenerys. But Jordan, one more thing on MLS. Sorry, I didn't mean to just cut you off. But the sprint season, they did drop the format of what's going to happen. We haven't talked about it.
That's a good point. Let me bring it up Unless if you have it.
I've got it. Yeah. So we've got high stakes campaign begin in February. 14 games, Jordan. They'll begin in February through April. 14 conference opponents. The regular season matches consist of intra-conference play with teams facing each of their 14 conference opponents once, 7 matches at home, 7 matches away. After the regular season, the top 8 teams in each of the 2 conferences will qualify. So that's down a team for the 2027 MLS Cup playoffs. In each conference, the postseason will be played in a single elimination bracket format to determine a conference champion. The Eastern Conference champion and the Western Conference champion will meet in the MLS Cup final. So we're back to the old format for this sprint season. 1 through 8 seeded. 1 plays 8, 2 plays 7, 3, 6, 4, 5. Which, Jordan, I'm hoping we're getting back to that format permanently. I've always liked that the NBA did that until they changed it to that stupid wild card thing they do too. Where 7 plays 8 and 9 plays 10, and then the winner of it's so convoluted and annoying, and I don't know. I just don't agree with it. I think it should be 1 through 8 everywhere, flat across the board. But yeah, that's the sprint season, Jordan, and then we'll be in 2028 season in the fall as we pick up with the new schedule.
Yeah, I'm excited for that. That means we'll probably get 1 or 2 episodes next year.
Yeah, we'll get the preview and then the actual season wrap up. Yeah, we won't actually cover anything. Yeah.
But no, that's exciting. 14 games. You're facing your conference every single game. So the stakes are high. That'll be just a unreal season. That'll be an unreal season. And I know they're going to put an asterisk on the winner because of whatever, just like 2020 or whatever, but it's going to be exciting. We'll have and I hope that means that the playoff, you could say that the playoff is set up this way. That way they're done early without doing the best of 3 and everything. But I hope that's just a sign that they know that's not working and they can come up with a new playoff system for 2027, 2028 when we change over to the new calendar.
Yeah, that's what I was really thinking, because 14 games is still a good amount of games for a sprint season like this. But when I read that, I was like, oh, they're definitely considering going back to that old format. Because why would they do that? I get timing and stuff.
Yeah, that's the only reason I would think
extra
of
week,
timing.
Right, or an extra half a week. It didn't make sense to me. I was like, ooh, they're definitely considering going back to the old format. Plus, they're going to expand more, so that'll eventually. I do think we're headed back towards the 1 through 8. So hopefully,
that'd be great. That was the best season.
I love
2022.
Oh, so fun.
We had the best postseason.
So
both
fun.
ones got to the final, but they was just fun games, knockout, high stakes every single game. Yep. And then the next year they're like, what if we didn't do that? What if we
screw it up?
Had a worse postseason. What if we did that?
Yeah.
And it has not gone over well with fans. It's not gonna I just think that maybe they have to know that this isn't working.
Yeah.
All right, we've put it off long enough. I think it's time for us to talk about the U.S. men's national team scoring first. Woohoo!
We were back.
Scored the first goal. Everybody was losing their mind. McKennie scored, and we're beating Belgium. This is unreal. It did not last long. We end up losing 5-2 to Belgium. But I ask you, Logan, this is a team we may have to face in the World Cup if we're lucky enough to get out of the group stage and pass the round of 32. So does this result make you feel impending doom for this World Cup?
Yeah, I think so. Again, I think some of the same issues are coming up. We defending is kind of a disaster when we play good teams like this. I mean, teams that can pick you apart, this team cannot stop. You got Timothy Weah playing a defensive position. We're just trying to figure things out. It seems I always feel like we're just trying to always figure things out with the U.S. men's national team. And this felt no different. I mean, Jordan, like you said, they jump up 1-0. I'm excited. Everybody's ablaze on the X machine. And it was quickly humbled. I mean, Jordan, when you go up 1-0, you lose 5-2 and just fell apart, unraveled in the second half. And you can just see too, this team has never been great about handling emotions correctly, and
Not
you can
the
just see it.
5-2, but
Yeah.
it's 1-1 going into the half.
Right.
McKennie scores in the 39th. DeBost scores in the 45th. And then we go to halftime. And you're like, 1-1. All right, just go out there, try to nick a goal. Don't give up 4 goals. And you give up 4 goals.
Don't give up 4 goals.
Onana, 53rd minute. We gave up a penalty in the 59th. Luca Bacchio in the 68th and 82nd.
Rabbled.
Then Ajamang gets a 87th minute goal. And that's it.
Yeah.
They had 21 shots to 12. 10 shots on target to 5. 10 shots on target. They converted 5 of those into goals.
Yeah.
They had 38 touches in our box to our 27 in theirs. Now, obviously, we had some injuries, but it just doesn't feel good. And we're kind of in this, our team form the last few matches, we were unstoppable. We had a really good window back in the fall where we beat Japan, right? We drew with Ecuador. We were riding high. We ended up beating Australia. We beat Paraguay, right?
Mm-hmm.
We beat Uruguay. That was a big one. 5-1. But this is the run up to the World Cup now. I have the exact days to our game. Hold on here. We are now 75 days away from our first game. And it feels like we took a step back. Now, obviously, this Belgium team's good. But we held on pretty darn good against them 12 years ago when they were at their peak, I feel like. In 2014. I don't know. And then you always had the rumors of Pochettino getting another job somewhere. And I'm like, save that for after the World Cup. Because obviously he's not going to stay post-World Cup. But, can we get all the noise out of here? And this is a year that we have a good jersey. We have the Waldo kits with the flag. Yeah. Let's not squander this, please.
Yeah. I just...
Next up is Portugal?
Yeah. I just feel like we've got a good team, Jordan. It's good. It's fine. But it's never a team that maybe they get that extra boost. I see the sky the limit type of stuff would be the round of 8. That would be, to me, I'd be like, damn, we were good. I don't expect any more than that because Senegal and Belgium are probably the teams we play if we get 32 and then 16. Senegal
at this point, I will be happy with the round of 16, which sounds blasphemous, but we have an extra round now, the round of 32, and that it's not looking good.
No.
Well, Tuesday we face Portugal. We also have some other stakes coming up on Tuesday as well, as the qualifiers are going on right now for the rest of the group stage.
Mm-hmm.
I believe ours is what? Kosovo, Turkey?
Yeah, it'll be Turkey.
Yeah, it'll probably be Turkey. But at 2:45, Bosnia-Herzegovina will face Italy. Czechia will get Denmark. Kosovo will face Turkey. Sweden will face Poland. That's for the UEFA ones. Jamaica has to face DR Congo, and Iraq has to face Bolivia. I guess we'll have the final, the final list of teams.
Yeah, I mean, it's crazy. Well, how many days did you say?
75 till our first game. The World Cup, I think, kicks up a day or two before that.
It's the day before. I think it's the night before. I think Canada, one of the two are in it. I think it's Canada. But I think there's a game at 3 and then a game at 7. That's how they do most of them. But I it's just so frustrating because of how much anticipation this thing had. And like you and I
think
talked
Mexico
about,
kicks
we
us
felt
off. Mexico, South of Africa, right? Is that right?
Yeah. Oh crap, you froze. So I was talking right over you. But I think there was just so much anticipation on this, Jordan. And then we felt pretty good after, I wouldn't say the Camp Cupcake type roster, but it was similar to Camp Cupcake type roster, like with Diego Luna and them and Sebastian play their heart out. And that's something Pochettino said. He goes, I'm going to make roster decisions based on how much guys want to be out there. And that just, to me, it just irks and smells of, he still considers some of these players to be guys that don't really want to be out there. Like that's what it smells of. Like, we're going to find people that want to compete. I'm like, that's never good when you're having those type of conversations of like, Diego Luna wants to be out there, so he's going to get out there. Like, hell yes, everybody should want to get out there and do this. But I'm afraid that's
World
not
Cup.
Yeah.
If people don't want to be out there, they shouldn't be out there.
Yeah.
Because it's a World Cup.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, we have not much time left until this kicks off, and I'm just feeling some existential dread.
Yeah. And then everybody in the world will be watching it that don't normally watch it. And then that whole thing always makes me mad when they're like, what's wrong with the US? They suck. You guys said they were exciting 4 years ago. It's like, yes, but if you've listened to any conversations we've had since, it's not been good.
Yeah, that is, we had, what was it, 2024 when we had to, we got knocked out of Copa America.
Yeah.
That was kind of the low point. And that was only 2 years, a year and a half after the World Cup, when we were all kind of high on the team and everything. So we'll see. We'll see how it goes, but I'm still looking forward to it, but this result was a bummer. If we can go out there and beat Portugal or have a good draw or just not look and give up 5 goals, I'll feel a little better going into the summer matches that we have coming up. But time's running out. All right. Anything else that we want to talk about before we wrap up?
No.
Like I said, we have the U.S. game on Tuesday. There's some MLS matches on the weekend. We'll come back when we can. So everybody enjoy the rest of the MLS season and the World Cup, and we'll catch you next time.